How's it going, everyone? We are back with another Raid Shadow Legends video, and today let's talk everything you need to know about energy. Now this is very important, especially if you're newer to the game and if you don't plan on spending a lot of money, because this is a huge mistake that I constantly see tons of people make. Even people who make videos, I see them make a lot of mistakes when it comes to using their energy efficiently, so I thought I would take a few minutes to give you guys some pointers, some tips, some things not to do with your energy, and go through a list of things that you should do with your energy and what your priorities should be. So first of all, let's start off with a couple really big mistakes that I see people make. Now, energy is a time-limited resource. You only actually get a certain amount of it each day. Energy regenerates naturally at a rate of 1 every 3 minutes, but you also end up getting a couple of energy refills each day just by actually playing the game and accomplishing some tasks and goals. Now, a really big mistake that I see people make is they are constantly picking up any kind of energy that they get, and they don't really care about going over the energy limit. And I want to say this is a very, very bad idea and a huge mistake, especially if you're free to play. This is a major mistake if you're free to play. Not as big of a deal if you plan on spending a lot of money, but it's still just throwing away resources that you don't necessarily have to. And the reason why this is a huge mistake is regenerate energy 1 every 3 minutes, but that's only up until your energy cap. Once I get up to 130 energy, I no longer regenerate energy naturally. So whenever you have over your energy cap, you don't get that 1 energy every 3 minutes, and that is quite literally just energy being washed down the drain. You're not getting it, and there's no reason for that. So you want to be smart, and you want to not claim your energy rewards until you absolutely have to, until you actually plan on using that energy. Now, when it comes to the daily rewards, you have playtime rewards, which is goodies that you get just by staying logged into the game, and you're also going to end up having your daily, weekly, and your monthlies. So you get 1 energy refill from those playtime rewards. You're going to get 1 energy refill each day from your dailies. I believe it is from the fight in the arena 5 times. Now, I see a lot of people just take this energy the second that they have it available, even if it means going above the energy cap by a whole lot. I would just hold on to claiming it until you actually plan on using that energy. Now, the daily is reset at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 8 p.m. Eastern, so as long as you claim that energy sometime before the daily reset, you can kind of just let it sit here. Just make sure you do claim it before the day resets, or else it'll go to waste, but you definitely don't need to actually get it right away. So if you plan on going to sleep, or if you plan on being away for a few hours, there's really no reason to get that energy, and you want to try your best to stay below the energy cap as often as you possibly can. Now, this is also going to be really important for something else, and that is going to be your experience boosts. Now, that's going to be this yellow icon right here where it says XP. And as you can see, I have an experience boost running, and it has a timer on it. Same thing with energy. You're going to get a ton of these as you start the game. They're going to be all over the place. You're going to get them just by playing through your campaign. You're going to end up getting them from missions, from quests, from challenges. They're going to be everywhere. And again, don't actually click it right away until you actually plan on putting that boost to use. It can be a little bit annoying because, yes, you might have some red dots on your missions, on your challenges, or you might have some flashing rewards here that the game is asking you to claim, but it's better to have those annoying red dots instead of actually taking those resources and not actually using them efficiently. So hold on to them. The things in the campaign, like these rewards here, and things in the missions and challenges tab will never go away. You can have them sit there for as long as you want to, so you really want to try to be a little bit smart, plan out things a little bit, and not actually claim your energy and your experience boosts until you absolutely need to, or until you plan on using those resources. This is going to be very important as I move on to things that you should be using your energy on, and there's definitely a priority list. Things that are most important to use your energy on, and then as you kind of get through them, the things that are not going to be as important right away. Now, the main theme with using your energy is you want to focus on things that are time sensitive, things that have a time limit. So if you have to do something in a certain period of time before you can no longer do that, you want to be working on that with your energy. Now, the number one thing that I would say, this is just an example, this is probably the first thing that you should do anyway, because it really doesn't take very long, is going to be your daily quest. Now, you only have 1 day to actually do these, 24 hours. The good news is the dailies are very quick, they're very easy. Most of them don't really even have you spending energy at all, but there are a couple. One of them just has you use 50 energy, and that can be anywhere. But there's another one here, which is beat a campaign boss 3 times, and then sometimes another one shows up, which is clear a campaign stage 7 times. So because you only have 24 hours to do your dailies, it's a very short period of time. You want to be focusing on spending your energy, getting your dailies done very early on. That should be at the very top of your energy priority list before you start moving on to other things. Now, that priority list is really important when it comes to time sensitive stuff, because dailies have a limit of 1 day, but then you want to look at things like events, because events are also going to have a time limit, but they're definitely not going to be 1 day. Usually the events in the game last between 3 days and 2 weeks, so you want to be using your energy on trying to complete the time limited events if you can. Some of them are more difficult than others. Some of them don't actually have you use energy directly, but you have to plan out for them a long time ahead of time, like this artifact enhancement event. But you want to be working on your events. Very, very important. You get a whole bunch of really, really useful stuff, including some energy back. And if you actually use those tips that I told you earlier about holding on to your energy from your missions, your quests, your challenges, and keeping it in your mailbox, it's going to be a lot easier as a free-to-play player to complete these time-sensitive events. So definitely plan ahead of time and try to hold on to those resources as best as you possibly can for time-sensitive stuff. Now, speaking of those experience boosts, this is going to kind of decide where you want to use your energy next, because these experience boosts are huge when it comes to farming for leveling up your champions or leveling up food units to rank up champions. If you have an experience boost running, you want to be working on farming campaign stages. Now, you want to do as high of a campaign stage as you possibly can, but of course the most commonly farmed campaign stages are going to be the 12th one, Brimstone Path Stage 3 or Stage 6. Stage 3 if you want a little bit more silver, and Stage 6 if you want a little bit more experience. But this is really only going to be very, very efficient if you have one of those double experience boosts running. If you don't have a double experience boost running, there's definitely going to be better ways to spend your energy than campaign farming, but while you have them running, you want to be working on this. Now keep in mind, this is going to be a combination of both experience for leveling up your units and for silver, so it's not just one or the other. When you are campaign farming, you are kind of getting two things done at once. You're farming up silver for leveling up your artifacts for the artifact events, and you're also leveling up food units to rank up your heroes and make them stronger. So it's a combination of two really important aspects of this game. If you don't have an experience boost running though, there's definitely going to be better stuff that you can be working on. Now the next thing that I would say is, if there's not an event that you're working on, if you don't have an experience boost running, and you've also finished your dailies, you want to be working on other time-sensitive missions and challenges. Now the best example that I can give is in the progress missions, you're occasionally going to get missions that have you clear a dungeon keep, like this one right here. Clear a stage of the Spirit Keep a certain number of times, or it'll have you get a certain number of the Ascension Potions. Now you want to be slowly working on these missions because you're going to occasionally get to these roadblocks where you can't actually end up progressing on that mission until that keep unlocks, and they only unlock certain days of the week. So this is kind of time sensitive in another way. You want to be working on these, and when you end up getting that keep unlocked, then you want to work on those progress missions and kind of get to the next roadblock. It'll happen, and that's another reason why these progress missions are really, really slow. But if you're still really early on in these progress missions, you want to at least try to get up to those roadblocks so you can wait until you can end up getting those done. Same with the challenges, it's pretty much the same thing. There's occasionally going to be some challenges like in the dungeons, Force Keep, Void Keep, Spirit Keep, things like that. You can only end up doing them certain days of the week, so ever so slowly, even if it's not very fast, you want to be working on those because of the time sensitivity of them. Now we've kind of gone through everything that is time dependent. Now these are going to be things that you can work on anytime, so they are going to be less of a priority. Once again, generally speaking, you always want to be working on things that are time sensitive before you work on things that you can do anytime. And we're going to be moving on to dungeons now. These are things that don't have a time limit, and you can really work on them whenever you want. Now, Minotaur's Labyrinth is very important. If you don't have any masteries on any of your characters, you can kind of bump this up the list a little bit, but this is something that doesn't have a time limit. and you can work on this whenever you want. Also, because the rewards get better as you get to higher difficulties, I honestly don't think it's really a bad idea to wait until you can start doing even stage 14 or 15 before you start working on masteries, because you just get way better rewards per energy. So there's plenty of reasons why you don't really need to be working on this right away. It's not really on a time limit. You can do this whenever you want. And as you build your team stronger, you actually get more rewards per energy spent. So this is going to end up being next on the list. Next up is going to be dungeons, but there's a really big difference between these 4 dungeons, and specifically Spider is going to be more of a priority than Ice Golem's Peak, Dragon's Lair, or Fire Knight's Castle, and there's 2 really big reasons why. So Spider's Den is going to be more important than running these other dungeons because, number 1, accessories are going to be worth a lot more. They're more expensive to upgrade. If you've upgraded a few accessories, you probably know that they're not cheap to get to a high level, but they also sell for more silver. Because the stages of Spider are going to cost the same amount of energy as the stages of things like Dragon's Lair, you end up getting more silver per energy by running Spider's Den than you do by running the other dungeons. So Spider's Den is actually not a bad way to end up farming silver if you have a good team that can clear it. Again, if you can do higher stages, though, you're only going to get more benefit from it, so this isn't a time-sensitive thing. There's plenty of other things that you can be working on, but this is a great way to not only farm silver, but also be working on your accessories. Now, that's only one reason why this is going to be more important than something like Dragon's Lair, and that is because, as of right now, the Spider's Den is the only place in the game where you can actually end up getting accessories. So if you want to upgrade your champion's accessories, you have to do Spider. When it comes to the other dungeons, not only do they not give you as much silver, but there are plenty of other ways to get good artifacts in the game that are not accessories besides running dungeons. You can very occasionally find a really god tier artifact in the market. It's rare, but it does happen. You also get artifacts from the clan boss every single day, but you can't end up getting accessories from the market. You can't end up getting accessories from the clan boss. The only way to get them is through Spider. So your priority should be working on Spider before you start farming things like Dragon's Lair. And Dragon's Lair is probably going to end up being the #1 most farmed dungeon among these 3. And that's because if you take a look, each of the dungeons drops different gear sets, and most people are trying to get things like the speed set, the lifesteal set, more than in the other keeps. So that is going to be the priority list of things that you should spend your energy on, and hopefully if you are a newer player, this gave you guys some tips and some tricks on making sure to put that energy to as best use as you possibly can. If there's one thing to take away from this video, it's definitely use that tip of not claiming any extra energy than you have to, because if you stay above your energy cap, you are no longer getting energy naturally. This is a huge one that I see tons of people constantly making a big mistake doing. So thanks again everyone for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy the video and you want more like this, consider subscribing to the channel, leaving a like. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave a comment in the video section. I will try my best to reply to as many of them as I can. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day, and until next time, this is Salt of the Salty Guild, signing out.